Hello, this is Amy from the YMCA of Northern Alberta. Thank you for joining me here today in my living room. If you have ever participated in an intense physical activity, you will already understand the importance of proper breathing. What you might not know is that deep breathing also plays a really important role in managing anxiety. So for me, I think about one of my hobbies. I love to go backpacking. I love to hike in the backcountry. And so I am kind of always aware of and imagine a bear jumping into my path or coming across a bear on my hike. If that were to happen, no doubt I would have a very immediate automatic reaction that would be really important. So that flight or fight response, that would be critical in those situations where you needed quick action in a dangerous situation to preserve your life. So what physically would that look like? My heart rate would increase, my blood flow would increase, my breathing would increase. I would be sending more oxygenated blood to my big muscle groups to prime me for action so that I could get to safety. Pupils would dilate. I would sweat more so that I didn't overheat. Didn't need a digestion at that time, so digestion would slow down. I would need to react really instinctually. So I'd have less need and access to that really deep thinking in the prefrontal cortex. I would be thinking more automatically, what do I need to do right now to just respond, react, and get to safety. It's a really appropriate and necessary reaction in those kinds of situations. But what would happen if that reaction went too long and it didn't shut off once I no longer was in a position of being in danger? Or when that flight or fight response misfires. Sometimes for some people that reaction can become triggered or stimulated when in fact there isn't a need for an immediate physical reaction that would require a fight or a flight type of reaction. In that circumstance, that emotional state where it's pervasive and it's ongoing, physically people might experience the same symptoms. They could describe that as nervousness, anxiety, overwhelmed, uneasy, those emotional states that feel uncomfortable and can exhibit very similar physical reactions as the fight or flight response we just described. With the current status of this COVID-19, we have so many people that are watching and tuning into the news and the media, and we get consistent messaging all day long that can cause a bit of a reaction. For many of us, our work environments have changed. We're either working from home or potentially not working at all right now. We have kids at home that are not in their normal routine, and our social connections are taking a different course of interaction, and so there's a lot of change and a lot of general uneasiness about what we're experiencing right now, and that can, for some people, create the same physical reaction. And so we're going to talk about deep breathing, or you may have heard it referred to as diaphragmatic breathing, as one of the tools that can be used to help counteract this reaction. So why does that happen? How does that help? When you breathe deeply through your lungs, it presses down on your diaphragm that sits right underneath the lungs, and there's a nerve that runs under your diaphragm that, when compressed, sends a chemical reaction that actually slows down your nervous system. So effectively, it counteracts exactly what happens in that fight or fight response. So it is the slowing down of all of those processes that sped up, and it is essentially a break. It's the break to that physical reaction. And so it can be really helpful to have some control in reversing what can be an automatically triggered response. And so in order to practice that and really show you what that looks like, I'm going to introduce my son Tegan. Tegan, can you come and join me here? I'm going to get Tegan to help describe and demonstrate this action. Thank you for being willing to do this with me. Tegan's given me permission to share that as a young child, Tegan experienced a great deal of anxiety, and in early elementary, we learned that generalized anxiety was something that Tegan was going to experience often in his life. And so he was finding that these anxious reactions that he was having an impact on his schoolwork, on his learning, and on the social interactions that he had in his day in school. So we learned this technique really early on, And we found that this was one of the quickest and most effective techniques in being able to bring down Tegan's anxious reactions to a place where we could manage them and think through some other strategies that we had in place to handle and deal with them. So Tegan's got some experience with this, and he is willing to demonstrate what it looks like for you today. So Tegan, I'm going to get you to take one hand and place it right on your belly, right over your belly button, and take your other hand and put it right over your chest. Now for most of us, when we breathe, we practice breathing primarily through the lungs and the chest being where we feel that movement. When we're breathing and fully filling our lungs and compressing that diaphragm, that feels like a belly expansion. So in this kind of breathing, what we're looking for as we go through this slow breath is feeling it first in the hand, but then secondarily feeling it through your belly. Your bottom hand will start to move away from your spine as you really fill up those lungs to full capacity. Okay, so I'm going to get you to start breathing in and out through your nose. And then we're going to start to slow that breath, breathing in for 4, 3, 2, start to feel it in your hand. Exhale, feel it in the hand. 3, 2, and then the top. Inhale, 4, through the chest. Now the belly, and hold. Exhale from the hand. 3, 2, top hand. Again, inhale, 4, 3, 2, fill your belly. Exhale, belly empties. 3, 2, empty the chest. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, move out that bottom hand. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, one more time. Inhale through your nose. 3, 2, feel the hand. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, Tegan. So hopefully you've been able to pick up a couple of tips for that deep diaphragmatic breathing. What's really great about this breath is that it doesn't require anything specific. You can do this anywhere, anytime, and with anyone. So parents, if you have young kids at home, you can help walk them through that if they're looking like they're feeling a little elevated and need to be brought down a bit. You can do this for yourself, whether you're triggered for something you're watching on TV or hearing online, or whether that's maybe just going to bed at night. I know for myself, I'm a bit of an insomniac, so when I lay down at night, that's when I start thinking about all of those things that have happened throughout my day, and sometimes that busy mind prevents me from falling asleep. So that's when I'll use this often at night to help focus my mind, clear my mind, and prepare myself for sleep. We've talked a lot about the physical benefits of this breathing. The mindfulness benefits are equally as important. Really bringing your attention and your awareness to that breath, to every inhale and every exhale, allows our attention to focus on just that exact present moment and anchor ourselves physically in the body through breath. And that practice helps us to keep our attention on our breath instead of all of those distracting thoughts that are sometimes what create that anxious reaction through a fight or fight response. So consider that the benefits of this deep breathing are extensive, whether you're just doing that as practice or whether you need that in a moment of clarity of focus or calming of the body. So hopefully you found these tips helpful and you'll be able to try them on. I've certainly enjoyed having you here in my living room, and I hope to see you again. Until then, take care.